Cow Homeboy's back! Alright, let's get into it. The H-1B Hudsons were introduced by the Montreal Locomotive Works during 1930, and were the second batch of Hudsons built for the Canadian Pacific Railway. 2816 was one of the members amongst the 10 H-1Bs built, and found work handling passenger trains from the fields of Winnipeg to Quebec City. However, 2016 found much of its footing down in southern Ontario. However, the advent of dieselization, 2016 was retired from revenue service on May 26, 1960, racking in a total of 3.2 million kilometers in revenue service. The Hudson would be bought by F. Nelson Blount for his developing Steamtown, USA collection, initially as an improvised for the scrapping of all New York Central Hudsons. She remained a part of the collection for 35 years, even when the collection moved to Scranton, Pennsylvania. However, all of this came at the cost of her slowly deteriorating due to her outside exposure. It wasn't until 1998 when the Canadian Pacific bought the Hudson for eventual use as the railway's ambassador locomotive for their upcoming steam program, where it was moved from its home in Pennsylvania all the way back into northern Canada, where it was completely rebuilt from the ground up, as the most thorough-out rebuild undertaken for a steam locomotive since the end of steam. The engine will also be fitted with new amenities such as radios, a diesel control unit, being converted to an oil burner, and the addition of headlights. In total, the restoration took 2 years and at the cost of $2 million. Quite costly, not gonna lie. Finally, on August 16, 2001, 2816 finally moved under its own power for the first time in 40 years. And by September, she joined the Canadian Pacific's fleet and was used for special excursions and public relation runs across the CPR network. Over the course of 10 years, she managed to have a good amount of excursions across Canada and the United States, whether it was doing a doubleheader of Milwaukee Road 261 or hauling a special excursion for Toronto's commuter agency, Go Transit. And despite being put into storage due to the 2008 recession, she did make it up for when she appeared in the 2011 IMAX film, The Rocky Mountain Express, which showcased the Empress going on a tour from Vancouver all the way to Montreal, while also explaining the history of the Canadian Pacific Railway. Quite an adventurous journey for one locomotive, huh? Things would go south in 2012, however, when Fred Green stepped down as CEO and the late E. Hunter Harrison took over. Harrison was more focused on implementing cost-cutting measures and cared less for good PR moves, which is when he seized the steam program due to his disinterest in steam locomotives, believing they didn't add any value to a modern company. 2816 would be moved to storage in Calgary for many years, where it would sit dormant with an unknown future. Some people even thought it would be the end of the line for this unit. Even when Hunter Harrison retired as CEO, 2016 still remained in long-term storage.
Objection!
Things seemed to get better, as on November 13, 2020, 2016 was fired up as an assessment for a mechanical condition, and eventually was used for the filming for that year's holiday train video. In 2021, with the CPKFC merger planned, it was noted that 2016 would return to steam for a tour from Calgary all the way down to Mexico City, and it wouldn't be until June 2023 that she would begin receiving an overhaul, and by August, she began making test runs around Calgary. And with 2024 coming in, and the schedule already posted, 2016 did some final test runs around March and April of 2024. And recently, she has since begun her tour all the way down to Mexico City, where many people will see the wonderful beauty going on a tour that crosses through North America. And hopefully, some of y'all can get to see this beautiful machine for yourselves, as a fine representation of the steam age of the Canadian Pacific Railway. Also, a bit of a side note, CPKFC, if you can, send it to Toronto, please.